Ladies and gentlemen, it's Real Late on Hot 97. My name is Peter Rosenberg, and a guy I've been hearing a lot about for the last couple of years now. It's really been heating up over the last 6 months or so. Boston's own, now by way of L.A. Cousin Stizz in the building on Real Late. How are you, man?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Survived Peter Palooza.
Hey, how was it?
It was lit, man. It was a really. There's a lot of rap fans these days. Rap music. I don't know if you know this. #1 money-earning genre in the world, finally.
Does that mean everybody gets a raise?
Oh, yeah. By the way, wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be fire.
It's like, so now everyone's pay is going up. Stizz, I want to get into your story a little bit. You're from Dorchester?
I'm from Dorchester, man. Right in the middle of Boston, but even more specific, Phil's Corner. Third stop on the Red Line.
But the Boston rap scene, talk to us about the Boston rap scene. It is one of those cities that is a major market that, as far as known rap, that has made it somewhere. It's weird. It's weird in terms of you go back to like Ed O.G., Almighty RSO, and then like you jump and there's like, random underground acts that, Crumb Snatcher, 7L and Esoteric, and like these random sort of things that have happened that have been, I know I'm forgetting people also, but it hasn't had the definitive mainstream act. Wasn't Paperboy from Boston as well?
Was he?
I don't know. The song Diddy was huge in Boston, though. So this was a long time ago.
Jammin'
94.5 used to play.
I don't want to be wrong about that one, so I'm not going to say anything.
I don't want to disrespect. But so how would you describe the Boston rap scene?
It's weird, man. I mean, I got into it relatively late. Like, you feel me? I started rapping like 4 years ago. Started taking it seriously like 2013.
And how old are you?
I'm 25 now.
Okay.
So I started rapping pretty late. I started rapping when I was like 21. But I don't know. I didn't know much about the scene going into it at all. You feel me? Because like I said, I had no intentions of being a rapper. You feel me? Like at any point, it just kind of.
What did you assume you were doing?
I didn't know.
And Paperboy was not. He was from the West Coast. So
okay,
I want to apologize right away. Big song.
Shout out to the Googles, man. You did your Googles.
Wikipedia. It just happened so easy. So you didn't know what you were aspiring to?
Nah, man. Like I really didn't. I was in a really weird space in life. Like I said, I was 21 years old at that point. I wasn't in school. You know what I'm saying? I was just pretty much fucking around. I mean, messing around.
Thank you.
Hey, sorry, I caught myself.
It's all good.
I was messing around, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I would be like doing like stuff that wasn't really positive. To just be real about it, I wasn't doing the right things that was going to put myself in the right situations. And I was just at a crossroads.
Were you doing like very bad things or just sort of like you were an F up?
Yeah, I was definitely an F up for those few years, you feel me? Like from high school on throughout, you feel me? It was like a real transitional period for me, especially since like going to school, I was always going to public school my whole life, you feel me? Granted, I got kicked out of school 7th grade, and then I came back to another public school. So it was like kind of going like, in that downward direction.
Sure.
And my mom gave me like an ultimatum, like, yo, like military school or school in the suburbs, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, like my little bro had just died. He's the one who gave me my my nickname Stizz when we was like 11, 12 years old, you feel me? And he just passed at that point, and it was just like, it was a real no-brainer. Like, I wasn't.
Wait, he passed away at how old?
He was 13.
Wow.
He died. He got shot.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was just like, you feel me? It was a no-brainer to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to school in the burbs because I'm not really good under like authority figures anyways. And I couldn't, military school, I knew wasn't gonna work out for me. So I went to the school in the burbs, and then it was like all of a sudden, everything was different. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing things I've never seen before. And I'm seeing types of cars I've never seen, houses I've never seen. People with like things that I've never seen, and I got to go back to the hood after school. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a weird dynamic of like being bused from my where I'm from all the way out there, dealing with like their life. You feel me? How everything's obtainable, and then I go back to nothing. You feel me? At the end of the day, and I got to go live that life all over.
It's funny. You know who has a similar story, and I believe from the same area as well, is Jadena.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard Jadena's story at all, but a sort of a similar experience in terms of going to a school that was, predominantly white, suburban, and I'm guessing the school was predominantly white as well. Where was it? What suburb?
Was it Reading? Okay. Reading, Massachusetts. It ended up turning out to be the best 4 years of my life. It was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Did you get to be? Were you like kind of the? Were you? I mean, were you the Fresh Prince of school? Like, did people treat you well? Like you were the cool guy from a different background?
Yeah, it was.
Or was
weird,
it
man.
the opposite of that?
Nah, I actually got accepted immediately. I thought it would be the exact opposite. You feel me? Because my parents, my mom went to school in the burbs when she was growing up, but it was a lot different than like that racism, like the busing and the busing and everything like that had just started. Of them like doing this whole program of them taking inner city kids and bringing them to school in the suburbs. So like my mom's had to deal with like all that like heavy racism from that. You know what I'm saying? So when I was going there, I figured like that's just what it was gonna be when I got there. But it was the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like the exact opposite. Like I got embraced pretty early.
So that leads to a conversation I think is interesting because, you know, on my sports talk show, we've spent a lot of time talking recently about racism in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It's become a subject again after the Adam Jones incident for the Orioles.
I heard about that.
Who talked about being at Fenway and in center field, hearing the N-word and things of that nature. And it brought people back to like, you know, this conversation that almost sounded like, really? Like you didn't know.
For real.
You didn't know racism in Boston was a thing? But at the same time, I'm interested, like, can you explain some of the nuance there? Because racism is endemic in Boston. It's been a thing for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But in your experience specifically, when you went out to the burbs, you didn't in where you were, you didn't have that experience?
Specifically, nah. Like, yeah, for me, I can't say that I ever directly dealt with racism at all, like going to school. Which
You
was
don't have
weird.
some memory that was like, oh, there was that one time when.
Yeah, no, like I said, I never personally, there was definitely things going on in school and you see it, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, that's crazy. And, you know, people deal with their own situations, you feel me? Like, I don't step in between, like, I don't know what happened over there for that to have happened. You feel
But
me?
in
I
your
ain't
life,
got-
you felt accepted. You didn't
I was
feel
cool. Like, those 4 years I was there, like, obviously I've dealt with racism in Boston. I lived there, you feel me?
So
But
then how would you describe the racism in Boston?
it's different. It's a different type of racism. Like, I remember this one time, I was on my way to go watch the fireworks. I was like maybe 15 at this time. You feel me? I'm on my way to go watch the fireworks, and you have to like go through like the when you go downtown, you know, the Boston Commons. You walk up like all that cobblestone road area. I forgot what it's called up there.
But you're talking right in Boston proper.
Yeah, I'm like right in the middle of it, like right by the city hall and everything like that. I'm walking through those streets to get to like, because you have to walk to the Charles River to see the fireworks. You feel me? So I'm walking over through there. I'm with my boy, and we're like in a rush because we know we're gonna miss the fireworks, and that was the whole point of us making this big trip anyway. So we're like kind of running down the street, and then all of a sudden we hear these voices. You feel me? Behind us, and it's these 4 white kids. You feel me? And they just start screaming, "Wild!" Like just wild. You know, a lot of slurs, you know, and it came out of nowhere. Like when I said it came out of nowhere, we were on our way to watch the fireworks. It was unprovoked. It was unprovoked. It's like. It was like a group. It was me and my boy, but it was a group of them. It was like 8 or 9 of them. But they were all the way up the block, like maybe 3 streets up. You feel me? So for them to even like to go out their way to do that, it was wild. And like I said, we were already on our way. So like then they start following. You know what I'm saying? And they're going harder. You know, and it got to the point like it was gonna get really dicey. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy like. Nothing like really came out of that situation for both parties because it just wouldn't have made sense. Like when the dust cleared, it wouldn't have made sense.
And that's a what makes that different, I suppose, is that when you talk, there's racism in New York, of course. There's racism in DC and Philly. What makes that unique is that it sounds like a very old
sounds
school
like a different
Southern.
time. Yeah, it sounds like a different time.
Like Arkansas in 1953.
That's
like
how
that.
it felt, man. No bull. That's really how it felt. It really took me back. Like it took me back, and I'm a 15-year-old kid at this time. So for me to look at it like that, I'm like, yo, like this is like wow, like bro, like we're like in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
Do you get a lot of support in Boston?
Absolutely.
And what's your audience like? Is it cross-cultural?
It's very cross-cultural. I got the most hoodest kids that come to my show and the most nerdy white boys that come to my show, and they come and turn up together and dance and have fun and spill liquor on each other, and then we all leave.
So
everybody's safe.
So with that being said, and the things that are weird with Boston when it comes to race and things of that nature, would you still call yourself a proud Bostonian?
Absolutely. Like I didn't come from the racism. I didn't come from that. I came from the city. I came from the real city that they don't show you. Know what I'm saying? I came from a real culture melting pot. Where I lived, there wasn't racism because I lived like in the real city of Boston. You living with like there is white people, there's Vietnamese people, there's Cape Verdean people, there's black people, there's Jamaican people, there's Trinidadian people, and we're all right there in the real Boston. Like in your Dorchesters and your Mattapans and your Roxbury, everybody's on top of each other there. So the racism, you won't see it there. Is when you go to the spaces that they take pictures of. You feel me? Your South Ends, your North Ends, your Southeast, your downtowns, things like that is when you start to feel it. Things like that, that's when you start feeling like the class bumper push that racism, you know what I'm saying? Like the class bumper starts to really, that's what it's really looking like in Boston these days. It's like more classism
than it is racism.
Yeah, it's starting to look like that. Yeah, like now it's starting to look like, you remember those places that they didn't want to live is where they gave to us, the Mattapans, the Dorchesters.
At this point, there's what you feel in Boston just depends on who you are, where you are, but you think this can be an issue of class as much as it is race.
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like you see it a lot in sports and everything like that because they're, like I said, they're in those places. They're in those places directly. You know, that's where your stadiums are.
I feel a way. One thing I really don't like, and we'll move on. I don't want to dwell completely on the racial politics of Boston, which is a complicated thing. But I was telling you off the air, I'm a Celtics fan.
Yeah.
And one thing that's always irked me is like the extra unnecessary love that like white players always get on the Celtics.
It's kind of crazy, ain't it?
And then, like, that's the one thing that I have this sort of weird mixed feeling about Gordon Hayward joining the team is because, like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited.
He's a great player.
I hear he's a great player.
I know exactly what you mean.
But he better prove himself like everyone else because, there's a certain segment of fans that are just going to be waiting to cheer him because they're like, yes, we could have a white star again.
Yeah.
And that really irks me.
It's tough, man. It's definitely tough. Like, and it's tough. It's like it's weird, like, cause you hear it when, like, I'm growing up in Boston. Everywhere I go, everybody's like, "Yo, Boston's racist, man." Like, how'd you even, like, you know what I'm saying, come up in that? But it's weird to me, like what I said, cause like I don't deal with that personally, cause I'm from real Boston. Like, I'm from what people don't see in these pictures. Like, it's really crazy to me how every picture of Boston, I can't find my house. I've never been able to see any of the cribs I've lived in any picture of Boston. You feel me? Of like a picture of Boston that you see anywhere. I've never been able.
And Dorchester's a known place.
Known place, and it's never been in a picture. Never. Roxbury, never.
You mean even like a big picture where you see the whole city?
They cropped that out. They showed downtown, South End, North End, Southeast, and Cambridge. That's the picture. They don't show behind that.
And this is the Boston I was first ever acquainted with was right here, okay? And I don't know if you're too young to know this. Do you know this record?
I know the beat, for sure.
So
I don't know if I know the record.
This might have been the biggest Boston record of all time.
Hey, yo, brown is my complexion. I'm burning, sucker, so wear protection. Now who's next when Ed's flexing? I'm the bread, and you are just a crumb off. Step back, relax, cause that OG's about to come off. I'm from Roxbury, the berry, but not the fruit, y'all. Don't make me act like where I come from, cause it's brutal. Hold my own in a zone.
Yeah, that was like the real.
Shout out LG, man.
That might be the biggest Boston rap record as far as like truly respected rap record of all time. And that was, for a lot of us, it's like, me, even though I had family who's from the suburbs in Boston, they live in Needham and places like that, and Natick and Waltham and all places like that.
Absolutely.
I was always aware of Roxbury because of NOG.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, there's this other part of Boston that's like not really talked about. So it's a very interesting situation. Listen, I hope Gordon Hayward's amazing. I just always used to get irked, like the way fans would cheer for Brian Scalabrine, who's a great guy, by the way.
I love Brian Scalabrine.
I
love Brian Scalabrine.
I want to hate on him because those fans annoy me. He's a great dude.
I loved it, though. I loved that. I really loved the Brian Scalabrine era, bro.
Why?
Something in Brian Scalabrine, like, that made everybody in Boston happy. That wasn't even like...
So really?
That was
on
like
the outside,
a universal thing.
So you could see how I felt that way on the outside.
Yeah.
But you're saying when you were there, it wasn't like that.
No, everybody loved Brian Scalabrine.
Was it just because he was a cool dude off the court?
Yeah, just because he was Brian Scalabrine. Like, he's the man, bro. Like, every time Brian Scalabrine gets in the game, people at home get happy. You know
all right, good. I'm glad to know that wasn't universally just a white Boston fan. Everybody
everyone loves Brian.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Cousin Stizz is in the building. I want to talk about some music. Let's play a joint or two off One Night Only. What do you want to play first?
Let's play No Ice first.
Cousin Stizz is in the building. Boston's own. Man, when is the last time I interviewed? Oh, Terminology, of course.
Hey, I was with them last night, man.
About to say, shout out to Term, shout out to
Term, shout out
Static.
Stack, man. They interviewed me yesterday.
And so I am a total D-nozzle for not mentioning them earlier. Static, though, they've both been in New York for a long time now, too.
Man.
But they are Boston cats.
Absolutely.
And they've been here for a minute holding it down. So this is now your third project. And I understand, like, the buzz picked up for you initially. Take us through the process, because I know at some point, like, Drake showed you love on social media. What was happening before then? And then tell us a little bit about that story and the impact there.
I mean, it was weird because that was my third song ever, like, I ever made. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus, okay.
Yeah, so it was a strange place. Like, it was like, I was always like a popular kid, you know what I'm saying, throughout the city. So when I started making music, like, we used to talk about it before it dropped. We used to be like, yo, if it only has like 700 plays in a month, don't be discouraged. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Let's just go back to the drawing board and do it. You know.
There's someone out there watching right now who's like, I only get 100 plays a month. 700.
But that's why you gotta keep swinging. You know what I'm saying?
Got to.
And like,
so I love hearing this part of the story. So you were putting music up on what, SoundCloud?
put it on SoundCloud.
And it was getting nothing.
Nah, that's a lie. I said we that's what we thought would happen.
Okay.
And
so so you first put up, you started an account, and
my very first song, within a week, first song, 10K plays in Boston. That's unheard of. You know,
how?
I don't know. I really don't. I couldn't tell you. It was. I really believe it's just because the city rallied behind me. Like I said, I was a popular kid. Like, I got my name Cousin Stizz with I got the name Stizz, like I said, from my little brother. I got the cousin because my homies will always tell me, like, bro, you cool with everybody. You're like everybody's cousin. You know what I'm saying? So I just turned that to my Twitter handle. It never was like a rap thing. Like I said, I didn't even think I would ever be a rap guy. You know what I'm saying? So like, that was just my Twitter handle.
So you were Twitter first.
Yeah,
Cousin Stizz was your Twitter name.
Yeah, first it was Stizz World Peace, and then because I was a Metal World Peace fan, so it was Stizz World Peace.
Really, you don't say. When you said Stizz World Peace, I understood exactly where it came from.
You feel me? My man Meta, shout out my boy, and then and yeah, I was like, yo, and then I was just like, yeah, Cousin Stizz. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that sounds cool. Why not? Just put it as my Twitter.
So you were a guy that people liked.
Yeah.
So the song starts moving around through social media and does better than you expect.
Way better.
Okay.
I like by exponential rates. Like I said, 10K the first week, and from Boston, that's just unheard of. You feel me? And that's my very first record I ever put out. The second one was 20K in a week, and the third one in 2 weeks, Drake picked it up. You know
so what does that mean? He just threw it up on his social?
Yeah, like he turned 27. He rented out Dave & Buster's, and as he's turning 27 at midnight, there's a video of him with my record as the background of him coming into 27 years old. Like, he's celebrating his birthday.
How surprising was that at the time?
It was, I almost threw up. I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened. It was crazy because I got home, and like I said, I was in a different space at this time. So it was probably like 3 in the morning, you know what I'm saying? I was outside with the boys all night. And I got home like 3 in the morning. I got a DM, and it's from Mac Miller's manager. Shout out Quentin. And it was just an Instagram link. And I opened it up.
Were you, he was someone who had reached out at the time?
Who?
Mac's manager?
Quentin, he's always looked out. He was a fan of Michael Christmas. That's my like little brother, you feel me? And like that Mac and their situation, but Quentin was a fan of my music too. He was a fan of my music.
And my boy
well.
Asher is cool with Michael Christmas.
Yeah, Asher loves my. Yeah, they got a real friendship going on.
Gotcha. And I could see you and Asher messing with each other too. Like,
he's a cool guy.
He's very much like a cousin type guy too.
Yeah, that's
like everyone just likes it.
Like, I like those type of people.
Okay,
man.
cool. So you've been in contact with with Quentin, and he just hits you.
Yeah, just
with a link.
It's just a
so you don't know what this could be. This could just be like a wacky World Star video.
Anything.
It could be anything.
Because like I said, Quentin and me have that relationship. He's just my boy. He would like come over. Like when I was in LA the first time, he would just come over and just kick it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he was cool. Like I said, they were really cool at Christmas, but like me and him were just cool, you know what I'm saying? Just because he like respected the music and everything like that. So it was just always gonna be like love between me and him. So he sent that link, and I was like 3 in the morning. I open it and I see it. And I woke my mom up, and it was like I said, it was 3 in the morning. Me and my mom sat on the couch and watched that video for like 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because like this is my third song ever.
And you could clearly hear that it was your song.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was the only thing playing. Like, it was the only thing playing. They're all cheering for his like birthday. Like the boy, you know what I'm saying? He got the big mink on, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing going on, and yeah, playing the record. And then it was crazy story is this guy right here, my other guy who shoots all my videos, my boy Goin, they ended up shooting Tuesday for Drake. and McConan.
and McConan.
Yeah, because we were all in house. So like all my videos were shot through them. You feel me? And
so they'd seen the video.
They like what was going on in our camp, and I guess I don't know how it happened, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but while it was going down, Drake pulled. Was it you that decided, or was it Goodwin to decide? It was both of you guys, and you told him like, yeah, I play this record every night before I go on stage, and this was like the Drake versus Weezy tour. He's like, yeah, I play the song every night before I go to stage. This is like our favorite record. You know what I'm saying? Like this is our favorite record on tour, and it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember like before like before the video popped up, I was hearing rumbles about like, yo, OVO is really rocking with this record, because we were close with Conan back then. Because we were like in Boston, we gave him his first push. Like me and my boys gave him a real push.
Why?
Boston.
Just because you liked the tape?
I liked them. Yeah, I liked the music. I first heard that Don't Sell Molly joint. You feel me? I never saw the guy before, but we blasted that throughout Boston. It was like a new sound and new song. We blasted that through Boston. You feel me? And like at that time, like we were like the cool kids. You know what I'm saying? So we still are the cool kids, but like at that time even more, like we were the cool kids. We were really out there like that, and we were like playing music at these parties and things like that. So we was really promoting, pushing Baconin, like, and he followed all of us back immediately. And it's like, you know, like what, 2,000 followers? Like way back in the day, like way before all of the.
So all of that kind of came together as a perfect storm.
Literally. Everything.
And then how much did you notice an impact from the Drake thing?
Immediate impact. Like it went from nobody paying attention, and the next week I'm in New York meeting with every label. Like just like that.
That's crazy.
Like just like that. Like the next week, very next week. Like just like that. You know,
because we always know the Drake story about like, oh, Drake grabs an artist and then he jumps on a song, and that story has, you know, a bevy of different results that have happened afterwards, usually very positive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different. That's one thing. This is a different thing though. Just to see that a simple, and it's not even an official cosign.
Nope, not even an official.
He didn't at you in it or
nope,
anything.
Nothing like that.
Nothing. It's just a song playing.
Yep, that's it.
That's crazy.
That's it. It was just that playing at midnight. That's what he chose to listen to as the clock struck midnight on his birthday.
And that was enough for them to.
Yeah, that was enough.
And then since then, it's just been a nice steady build.
Yeah, since then it's been a real fun ride. Like I think like my success is like after that and everything like that. Like the national, you know, attention starts happening, and then your city's already around you. Like my city really was already supporting me. They were already rallying behind me. Like. So when I dropped the first tape, it was natural. Like you said, it was the perfect storm. Like my very first show, I sold it out. My next show I ever did in Boston, I sold it out at a bigger venue. And then and at that time, that never happened. Like I sold out all venues that a Boston artist has never sold out ever in history, like ever. And I did that on my first two. You know what I'm saying? Actually, my first three, I did it 3 for 3. Sold out the first one, the first 2 days.
What venue?
Middle East upstairs, Middle East downstairs, and then I did Paradise.
Wow.
And it's never happened, you know what I'm saying? I packed all 3 of them out and sold all 3 of them out. And that was the city, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, you get that national love too. It was like I said, like the perfect storm, man. I can't even explain it how it happened. I'm just blessed and grateful that it did, you know what I'm saying?
You have an interesting sound. You sort of like hover between styles.
Yeah.
How do you classify your music, or do you not?
I don't classify it at all. I really don't, because like you can't come in from a city like Boston, you know what I'm saying? We don't have a real like sound, like, you know what I'm saying, with the quotes. You don't have that, because we never had like somebody like you said who really popped in Boston, you know what I'm saying? We don't have that. I never had that real big homie to look to be like, yo, here's the game, here's how you should do this, that. We don't have that in my city, you feel me? So it was just really me and my friends. Me and my close group of friends doing everything by ourselves. There's no infrastructure in Boston. Nobody's looking out. None of these venues is looking out for us. They were trying to make us pay to play. So we was like, nah, man, we just gonna rent out the venue on our own. And we sold it out. We were blessed enough to just keep selling them out just like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to look up something right now. Top markets in the U.S. Because, okay. The top markets, according to like population, top media markets, I would venture to say that Boston and DC stick out in my head. Me obviously being from the DMV, I know it well, and then Boston, I have a lot of experience there as well. They may be I'm predicting that they're among the only ones in the top 10 that have no stars in like the generation before to put you on.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's not like you had people who had no success. Someone like Ed O.G. had success, but that was Mercury Records in 1987.
Yeah.
It's a totally
Yeah, the
different. You know
gap
what I'm
was crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And like, and then there are other people who did cool things. You know, Guru, of course, is from
Absolutely.
Boston,
Yep.
but again, his whole career came from New York, and it's so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, God bless the dead, of course. So New York obviously goes without saying. There's been stars always. Maybe not as many as there used to be, but even in the dry times, there's still a lot of stars here.
Absolutely.
Los Angeles, same. Chicago, same.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia, plenty. I mean, you have a built-in incubator in the roots that like always existed to sort of meet people and put people on. And but then after that, you had the Rockefeller connections, you had the Eve stuff. Like there's always been stuff. Here's one that does not have at least a jump out front person that pops in my head. Dallas is the number 5 market. Yeah. Dallas jumps in my head as far as like, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel terrible. I don't even know who the first name that pops in my head for Dallas.
Isn't Post
rapper.
Malone from Dallas? I feel like.
Yeah, I think Post Malone.
Like Post is from Dallas. Yeah, Post from Dallas.
I mean, listen, even if that's the first person to pop in your head, Post Malone, A, isn't even a rapper, and B, has only been out for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's just the first. And he's also from upstate New York, too. He's from Syracuse, too.
Is he? Okay.
So it's an interesting category. Rappers from Dallas. Thank you, Wikipedia. Lil Twist, Lil Will.
Okay.
But these are mostly regional artists. Post Malone is listed here. Troy Cowboy, Big Tuck. So they're
Big Tuck.
They fit in that conversation.
Tuck is hard.
So Dallas fits in there. Then you have San Francisco, Oakland. Obviously, they have tons.
Talent. That's real regional music.
Boston at number 7. 8th market, DC, where again, as far as making it commercially really viable, Wale is kind of now the one out there on his own. Like I thought about you when we were talking. I was like, you could be at Celtics games the way Wale, because when Wale is at a Wizards game, it's like he's the guy to show up.
Absolutely.
Like that's it. There's like there's like players from the Redskins. You might have some Nationals there, and then Wale. Like that's basically all that's ever would be there. And then of course Atlanta, tons, and then 10 is Houston, tons. So it's really 2-3 markets that don't have that generation before who could pull you aside and be like, yo, this is exactly how this goes.
Exactly, man.
And this is what we have to deal with as Boston cats. Here are the perceptions people have.
Yep.
You're in new territory. So you're in LA now.
I'm in LA now.
How do you like being in LA?
I like it. I mean, I stay in the house anyways to keep myself out of the mix. I'm not a mixy guy. I'm a really like relaxed dude, low key dude. I try to stay out of people's way for the most part. I don't like pictures and stuff. I don't really do the medias anyways. You feel me?
You're not a big social media guy.
Nah, it's really crazy. Like we was talking about this yesterday. Like if you look at it, like how social media is set up today, like a lot of artists like pop via social media. You know what I'm saying? With me, it was the exact opposite. Like I have 40,000 followers on Twitter, 50K on Instagram, but I have 1 million Spotify listeners monthly. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't make sense. But it makes sense to me because I cared about the music. I don't care about the socials and anything like that. That's not what I'm in it for. I'm in it to make music. You know what I'm saying? I'm in it to make people dance.
Well, I absolutely love hearing that because 2 reasons. One, obviously, a lot of things are just facade and frauds.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I just have an issue with rappers being artists, celebrities, being overexposed. And like, it's one thing even, who cares if someone like me, who's just a personality, is overexposed? I mean, I first of all, I try not to. I'm already on so many stupid platforms. How much social do you need from me? If you like my stuff, like you'll see me. Yeah. But it's not the same. An artist has a different sort of mystique that is required.
This is true.
And you should look forward to interviews with the artist so you gain insight and like, oh, I read a magazine.
Yeah.
Like the knowing everything an artist does to me ruins
the artist,
the mystique of that artist.
It ruins like being a superstar.
It totally ruins.
We were talking about this in the car, but yesterday too. Like the thing that made me a fan of the people I was a fan of back in the day was the fact that I thought they were untouchable. You know what I'm saying? The fact that like there was a degree of separation between me and as a fan and the artist. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going on in their lives. You know what I'm saying? So I only imagined that everything they talk about was true. Every yacht they're talking about, I'm thinking that this is how they live in every day. You know what I'm saying? But now everything's so accessible. Everybody wants to show off everything so fast. You know what I'm saying? That degree of separation is no longer there.
No, that's what's it's what's
It's
fun.
making it tougher to be a fan.
It does make it tougher to be a fan, and like that's one of the things that makes Kendrick's success fun. Kendrick's socials horrible. He does nothing. I mean, not even horrible in a bad way, but I mean, if you're looking for content, he's not your social follow.
Absolutely.
If you see Kendrick posted, that means they announced something.
That's absolutely true, man. That's a
It's
fact.
like, oh, he's going on tour.
That's
he
a
posted
fact.
on Instagram. Oh, he went double platinum. That's
that's
it.
about it. Yeah.
And it's kind of nice, honestly. Like,
I love that, man. I'm probably gonna be like that one day, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad place to be. I mean, you're going to have people who are like, we need to have your brand doing more. We have an opportunity for an endorsement, and they want the X amount of posts. And
Absolutely.
nothing poisons someone's social more than whatever. Social's the worst, bro. Now, who else is popping in Boston? Is there anyone else popping in Boston right now?
Michael Christmas is for sure making a lot of noise in Boston right now.
Okay, and
There's a few other guys like coming up. You know what I'm saying? I want to like sit and wait and see. You know what I'm saying? Who gets like I want to wait and see who gets the real national spotlight. Because it's coming. It really is. Like, it's a real unique time for Boston. Like, it's real, like, it's new. You know what I'm saying? There's like a resurgence of new energy. It's just a bunch of young kids making a lot of music.
now I don't want to be a douche, but I have douchey tendencies at times. The white guy, Stud.
Mike Stud?
Mike Stud. What is he operating like his own other world?
I don't know. I don't know. Huh?
He's from Boston.
He's from Rhode Island. He's from Rhode Island.
Boston and Jace. So he's from Rhode Island, not from Boston.
Okay, yeah.
You sure?
I don't know. I guess this is news to me.
So-
He's from Rhode Island, correct? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, apparently he's not a part of the Boston scene then, as you know it right now.
I wouldn't say so because you can't be from. Well, you can.
Well, hold on. Let me look that. Why
but
am I just? Maybe I'm just being.
I would say that was like Rhode Island scene. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a scene in Rhode Island. There's a real scene in Rhode Island as well. So I don't want to take one of theirs. That's not fair.
Let me see if I'm a bad guy. Hold on. Oh, you're right. Cranston, Rhode Island. Listen, there's a full hour, 45 minutes between. So you wouldn't say that there's a scene in New England that crosses over in that regard, like a New England scene.
I definitely not. There is for sure New England scene because we go and we do like the what was that PVD thing that they used to throw a festival in Rhode Island, essentially. I forgot the name of it. My boy does it, like Drew and all of them do it. Yep, homegrown. Yep. Where basically that is exactly what happens. Like the rap scene from Rhode Island meets the rap scene from Boston, and we do a showcase together.
So there are things like that happen, but it doesn't
for sure.
necessarily happen on its own, as if like it's all easily connected.
Yeah. Nah, because it's like you said, it's an hour and 45 drive away. Not everybody got a car in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Especially not a lot of like the rappers. You feel me? We don't all got vehicles to transport each other to try to make that happen all the time.
And full disclosure, I brought that up as me being a dickhead because I dissed him on Twitter, and then we had a good
wow.
yeah. Well, because I walked into a Barstool party.
Okay.
You know Barstool, the website?
I do know Barstool.
And Barstool, I really respect the podcast they have that's blowing up right now, pardon my take. But as a website, culturally, I don't like it. It doesn't speak to me. I don't like there's a nature.
Yeah,
there's a boys club. There's like a white boys club frat vibe that's not me. And I've always, to be totally honest, and maybe I have a chip on my shoulder, but I've always been sort of like F you about people like that.
Yeah.
Like even going to Maryland, didn't hang out at frat houses. Like I think they're frauds. I'm just not into it.
I feel it.
And so I went to their Super Bowl party because other people I was like, I need to stop by that party.
Yeah.
Then we'll go to the ESPN party. So I, who likes to go to no parties, although I did want to go to ESPN to try to network, I'm like,
Shake some hands.
I'll stop by. So we walk into the Barstool party against my own will.
Okay. So you already feeling the way.
I'm already like, I don't really want to be
Yeah,
here.
you already, yeah.
And have you ever had a situation that was literally everything that you built up in your head it could be? It was exactly that. Like literally mundane, average white quarterback in the NFL was there. Like every douchey, like, what's up, bruh? Like QB from the NFL was there.
So exactly what you thought it was.
Mixed with a lot of dudes who are really nerds who don't really get any play and are just with a crew of dudes. But they had mad hot chicks there who I knew were paid to be there.
Wow.
Like the chicks that were there were not regular. We know what regular hot chicks look like.
This is true.
And
it's true. There's definitely a class of like after the A class, there's an S class, and it was just like,
and they got paid for it.
Yeah,
so
you know.
And I'm not saying that they were prostitutes. I'm saying they may have been regular girls who they did a thing where they paid them to come, but they weren't like, oh, I'm going to pay my own way and go to the Super Bowl party in Houston. That wasn't what happened. So while I'm already feeling away about like this is not my scene, I'm walking out and I look on stage and there's a white dude in a Red Sox jersey rapping. And I'm like, oh my God, what could make this douchey ass scene douchier? A white rapper in a Red Sox jersey. Wow. That's the only thing. And by the way, I say that with all due respect. I have a lot of love for Red Sox fans and the Red Sox. I've had many a wonderful day at Fenway.
Absolutely.
But there's a certain energy it connotes.
Yeah. I get
I
get the energy. I understand the energy.
You've seen the energy.
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying.
By the way,
I feel it.
And here's how nuanced it is. I have a Red Sox. I have an authentic Big Papi jersey.
Hey, we love that.
That's
I
love
that.
But there's a certain backwards hat Red Sox jersey rapper. I was like, so I went on Twitter and I'm like, I don't know who this dude is, but this party sucks, right? And then I
came in hot.
I came in hot, and then I don't think anything of it, and I wake up the next day.
Oh my God.
And I have like the Mike Stud fans coming at me and him saying random-ish. So he could be a totally nice guy. There's also another factor, which is he went to Duke, which it's a combination that for me is like.
I didn't know. I really didn't even know that. Wow.
Yes, Duke.
Really?
Yeah, he was a baseball player.
Wow,
Duke.
Shout out to Mike Stud for being an athlete.
No, real athlete.
Real athlete.
But I just want to say, anyone who sees this, because people will tweet him and say, you have to see this part. I'm not saying you're a bad guy. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, my Lord, of the douche checks that you could get, how many are there to get?
I don't know, but shout out my boy Mike Stud, man.
Duke?
Yo, Duke, my dad makes sure, like, when growing up, my pop made sure, like, there was no Duke anything. Like,
so where did your dad go to school?
He didn't go to school.
He just didn't F with Duke.
Yeah, he didn't rock with Duke at all just because of what they were about. But my pops didn't go to school. He like had to raise like all of his brothers and sisters when he was growing up.
What did your dad do?
He's a construction worker.
And what about your mom?
My mom doesn't work.
So your second project I know was really personal and was named after another person that you lost in your life. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
My little bro, Damone Clark. He died from cancer. And before he passed, I told him I was going to do the record for him. And the record is the complete opposite of Suffolk County. You feel me? Like
Suffolk County is the first one.
That's the very first one. And that's a kid, that's just a young hustling kid talking about like the things he was going through. And but Monda it meant way more to me. You know what I'm saying? I told him because we all knew it was coming, you know what I'm saying? And we were trying to get ready for it. He was taking it like a G, you feel me, like a champ, but not really like the rest of us. You know, we had to like be strong when we were around him, but like it was hitting us harder than it was hitting him, I felt like, you know what I'm saying? But he was 16 years old at the time.
What kind of cancer?
It was a crazy bone. I don't even know the name. I can't come up with it off the top of my head. It was a bone cancer that only 5% of the world gets. Like it was like something wild. Like it was deteriorating in his body. Like it was sometimes things it was to the point like, you know, you just can't see somebody you love, you know what I'm saying, go through something like that. And we had to watch it, you know what I'm saying, because we had to be there for him. Like we were his family already before the cancer, you know what I'm saying? Like we were his brothers, we were his older brothers, we were always looking out for him, you know what I'm saying? So when the cancer happened, we thought like, because he used to play basketball, he was a young kid, and you come to the court, he played ball with like all the other young kids, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we knew him from around the way. We watched him grow up. And one day he injured his knee at the court, and we're all like, you know, we're all like joking like with him, like, bro, like you acting soft, you know what I'm saying? He's like, bro, like for the next few days, he was like, yeah, I can't walk on my leg, you know what I'm saying? Like my leg is really messed up. And we was like, nah, bro, you good? Like you stop acting like that, you know, type thing. You know, it keeps going on, and then he had to go to the hospital. Next thing we know, you know, that news. And then we find out like, yeah, like it was to the point where it's like, yeah, he only has 8 months. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was immediately. You feel me? It was like just last week we was playing ball, and the next week he only has 8 months, you know, that he's with us. And like I said, this is our little brother, you know what I'm saying? So like, but he's a 16-year-old kid at the time, so he's taking it like a champ. You know what I'm saying? He's taking it like a champ. Like, so we had to step up and take it like a champ. We had to show him like it's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we definitely have our talks with it and get deep and stuff. But he would always tell us, like, bro, stop even like thinking like that. Like, I'm gonna be mad fly. Like, I already got my new suit, you know what I'm saying? Went for when it's time and all that stuff. Like, he was taking it like a champ. And like, you don't even want to hear that when you know what I'm saying?
Well, but here's the thing. So the double tragedy of things like that is that the kid who gets stricken with this illness, in the tragedy of getting the illness, I believe often, and I'm not like religious or anything, but I believe they also get inherently stricken like with this like a wisdom.
It really felt like that, man.
They get in order to succeed, the human spirit is so amazing that in order to survive, something else kicks in that elevates them to another level. The problem is the people around them, the beautiful part is they're not sick, and you guys will live on and live a full life. But you're not equipped with what they got for them to be able to mentally survive. So you're just a weak mortal man.
Yeah.
Standing next to someone who in their own way, even though they're passing, has become superhuman. They're beyond.
For real.
They see something else.
Yeah, man. And he would like leave, like he like looking back at it now, like he left a lot of little gems for us, you feel me? Like he really did. Like he left a lot of like little gems that like I'm even like getting emotional even thinking about it, like that like we would go back on even to this day, you feel me, just to hear his voice, you know what I'm saying? But when it was going down, I told him like, I'm gonna make this one for you, and I want it to mean something, like it's gonna mean something. So I really sat down and I put my heart into that project, you know what I'm saying? So it really like related to somebody on a real core level.
And it seems like that project connected with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Kind of bridged the gap from Suffolk County
For sure.
to one I
For
don't.
sure got me like the real classic hip hop heads on my side, for sure. Absolutely.
Listen, this has been really fun getting to minus the morbidly depressing part that I managed to bring up whenever I do an interview.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
No, this has been a really fun conversation, and I'm excited to sit with the project. It's out right now. Spotify, Apple Music.
Yes, sir.
Tidal?
No, are we on Tidal? Wow, we're on Tidal?
Tidal as well?
Can I get a subscription though? Can I get a subscription?
I don't think that's how it works. I just had to sign up for mine. Hove got me. Hove got me night of 444. I was like, man, Hove, I've given you enough money. And there was like 11:55, and someone's like, if you don't sign up immediately, you can't get it. I was like, oh, God damn it. Signed up. Anyways, listen, his name is Cousin Stizz. One night only.
Absolutely.
It's out right now.
One night only, man.
Thank you for making time, man.
Thank you.